Well, today I took these old wooden steps out and I built the steps out of granite and concrete tops. I made the concrete tops and I took the granite from around here and just made the steps. But anyway, I was at a campground and I'm going to show you what I think is the best kind of steps you could ever get. We are in Rhode Island and this is what I call an almost perfect set of steps. You see that? They're all granite. This is granite. They're rough on top. You put them in once, they're like church steps, and you're done. So as a stonemason, you got to keep pointing this stuff out, just laying on the ground. Of course, I don't think they got them pitched the right way, but close enough. It probably sank a little bit, but that's still, you could still jack it up if you wanted to. Now, when you see those kind of granite steps there, if you go to Stone Steps Repair Part 10, Granite Church Steps, it'll show you how church steps are put in, if you ever want to know how to do that. But anyway, I made them out of concrete, and I kind of crawled up the bank, just a little rebar in the back to hold it. I'm going to show you how I did it. Well, let's look at a set of steps we're going to replace. And we're not going to use wood, we're going to use masonry. Now, I already know when I measured it over here, 52.5. That's the size. And these steps are 11 inches. So that's what we're going to do, 11 inches. And we could adjust them a little bit. Now we're going to do 7.5, that's good. We're going to use this stone right here. We're just going to pick up some pieces, rip these out. I'm going to make my tops out of concrete. I'm going to do that first and pick these stones. Now let's look at the weather first. This is the other side of the garage. We're doing the steps on that side. See that? That's banana trees. You see this? These are palm trees. Alright, where the palm trees be, it's better for the masonry. So we're not worried about making our steps out of concrete. And we're going to measure 52 and 3/4. I'm going to get some plastic. I'm going to lay it down on the floor because I don't want anything sticking to the concrete. Okay, I got my 52 and 3/4 and my 11 inches. Now we're going to use this Saccrete high strength concrete mix. Sets in 24 hours, 4,000 pounds PSI. That's all you look for. Now you want to read the directions on the back. Add approximately 2.5 quarts of water and mix using a garden hose or forming consistency. Ensure that the concrete is mixed thoroughly with no dry pockets or lumps. Stay away from them dry pour, people. So we're going to throw this bag in here. I'm going to need more than one. That's how I do it. And see, here's the danger. See, it's just a little hard. Not much, but just a little. You're going to ask me, Mike, what are you going to do about that? So I'm going to go into this bag. You see it says Portland limestone cement. That's like a new environmental thing. And we're going to do at least 2 extra trowels in that concrete, maybe a little more, so I know that that's good. See it? Now this is fiberglass. I'm going to throw a good handful of fiberglass in there. It's from the septic tank company. They make septic tanks, and I use this. And I'm going to pour my water in. No big deal. Mix it up. That's about it. Now we're going to put it in the forms. I hear it pretty good. in the back end. Vibrate it good down. Now it's still wet, but we're going to use what is called an edger. And we're just going to go around while it's still wet and get the edges. Just like that. That gets the rocks down. And then we're going to let it sit and let it dry. Okay, we got it all edged off. You can see how shiny it is with water. We're going to let it sit for about 40 minutes. Okay, it's actually a couple hours later. I'm going to go over it again. Still a little wet, but it's close to ready. Here's what I want to show you. Now if you forget your trowel, just a piece of 2x4, you go around like that. The old timers made their own tools, so it's no big deal. Okay, we're back out here, and the steps are pretty well rotted, so we'll throw them over there temporarily. We're going to take these steps off. Like this. Now when you're doing stuff like this, there's the right way, the wrong way, and the Mike Haduck way. And I'm going to tell you something. When you got to find the easiest way to do stuff, and this goes all the way back to the pyramids of Egypt and everything. Finding the easy way to do stuff. Don't ask the architects. Don't ask the engineers. Don't ask the guy with master's degree. Ask the lazy guy. Lazy guy will always find the easiest way. Laziest guy, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. See, this is all rotted. I'm going to leave these two in. That's going to be my guide. Now we're going to get some of this dirt out. I'm going to tell you something. This is South Carolina, and everything is sand. Okay, let's look at what's going on. I just got it flattened out, right? See, I got to get down here good enough where the stone is under here, you see, and the concrete will come up into here underneath. So I got space. I put the rebar down, not inside the concrete, but on the bottom of it. So it just holds it together. And then I come over here. This is concrete, so we're going to have to do something different there. And now watch what I do. Now here's what I'm doing. Taking this slat, I'm screwing it into them steps. That's going to be my guide. I'll explain. So we got, everything's all set up. You see, that's our pattern. I'm going to need stones around 7 inches to go in my pattern. And over here, you see the sand that was in there? I put it in there. I'm going to mix it with Portland. That's as good as anything. So I'm just going to mix it up. I'm just using straight Portland. See that? Portland limestone cement. I think that's how you can get anymore. And it comes in the small bags. 2 sand to 1 Portland. I know just by doing it how much I need. You mix it up dry. I'm doing stone work, so I mixed it stiffer. See it? How stiff it is? That's where it is. Mixed thoroughly with water. So I'm going around looking at stone. This is interesting. 7 inches. See if I can get it out of here. Nope. What's this one? 7 inches. That's an interesting stone. That could actually be a corner. So, I'm just going to show you straight up. See, it's not flat. You want to flatten it out. Use this side of the hammer. That's granite. See how I'm flattening that out? There, now that's pretty square. That'll go right over here. Down in there. Here's another one. See that? We're just going to trim it up a little bit. Take this off. That'll go there. See that? We'll figure it out. Okay, you see what I did? Laid it out dry, which I always recommend. You can see right here the rebar, right? I don't want it in the concrete, I just want it to be on the bottom. That way, if she ever expands, it's not going to break the whole thing apart. So we're going to get this down to there. That's that one. I go to the next one. That same thing. See, I know where my height is. Right there. Then I can look, we'll get them in first, then we'll go from there. Get this one in. This one, you just touching the rebar. Doesn't have to go into the cement, just hold it together. Like that. Good. We'll just keep going. So we got that done. Let's get this a little over here. Now we're going to shove the cement in between. See? In the back. Make sure we bind it all up. Then when we take the top off, we'll just clean it up. Take it from the bottom. Shove it in there. Listen, when I first start doing stonework, the professionals, guys who knew what they were doing, would not let me use a trowel. I had to use my hands. Trowel, you waste a lot of cement. Hands, you don't. See? Throw the back in the back there. That's what we're doing. No big deal. Why make a big deal out of everything? It's all Portland cement. You can talk me blue in the face. If this ain't Portland cement, it's going to fall apart. And I got to be the guy to come and fix it. Now, what are we going to do in the back? Mix that cement up a little bit thinner. I'm going to fill it up. See? I got a lot of cement. See what we're doing? And if you got some junk pieces laying around, you got some junk pieces, make sure it's down low. Keep checking this so it don't slip. Okay. See, yeah, we're into our next section. Okay, we get our second tier in. Don't forget, this is where our step's going to be sticking out. So that's all going to get hid there. So now we're going to fill the back end in with cement again. Okay, this has been here long enough. about an hour or so now. So we're okay here. Now we're just going to clean these joints up with the paintbrush, just like that. Now this won't be seen. Then we get the bucket with the sponge, wring it out, just go over the sides. That's all we gotta do. No big deal. We'll win. See that? Makes it look real nice and natural. Okay, we get this one off. Same thing. Just gonna clean it up. Okay, it was so hot yesterday I gave up. But let's look at where we're at. Got the bottom one in. Got the second one in. I got this is the height. Remember I told you just a little bit below for that joint for the cap. And I'm gonna go up and finish it. So let's go in and look at our caps. This is day 2. We had 1 day, 2 days. When I come in here, here's what I do. Just so you know, I get some water and I keep them wet. They're outside, I keep them covered. That's going to straighten them up a lot. Okay, we're going to continue on. Let's look here. I want to see that rebar just a little bit. So she pins in there and then put it down. See that? Right even with the top. This ain't going to show. There's going to be a stone cap here. Then we go to our second one. Right down to the top of the board. That's my height. Go do that now. Now this one, you'll see that rebar, just so she touches it. That goes in. See? Got to be down to that height. There we go. And I continue to fill the back end. Fill it with junk. Anything that'll fit. Just like that. Okay, we're filling in the top. Still got some over here to fill in. And then we're going to make sure it's down. Fill this all in with cement. And then we're just going to let it sit. Okay, we did our last step. Dried off a little bit. Take this off. And we just clean it up. That's all, just like we did before. Get your paintbrush. Then get your water, rinse it out, go over the edges. So now, let me get this pattern out of the way. We're going to look down here, because it's only a day. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay. It's the end of the day. There's a few hours left. I'm in the shade. You can see what it looks like. And I gotta fill this in. So the sidewalk goes halfway underneath it. So I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna patch it up. I mixed the same stuff in the wheelbarrow as I did for the caps. I'm just gonna put it in. So I mixed the same stuff mixed it a little stiffer. I wet the bottom. I'm just going to put it in like this. No big deal. It's like I almost consider it a patch. And what we want to do is make sure that the water comes off of this. This is a plastering trowel. This is not a trowel. It's okay for what I'm doing right now. We got it in. It's got to be like a little sculptor sometimes. Kind of make it go where you want it to go. A little more in here. Let's get our little board here. See how we're doing. Straighten out any bumps in there. You don't want bumps. You want it to be uniform. Let's get our level. Okay. Got a quarter of a bubble. The water's going to go off. That's all we're worried about right now. Getting the water off. And then we could play with it. Okay, then we're going to take our edger again, go on the outside here, and edge it. I'm going to fix this sidewalk too. See that? It's going to separate that. Okay, this is drying fast. We're using our board because I don't have a float. That's what the old timers did. Just so we get a rough finish. I'm a big fan of rough finishes on steps. People won't be sliding off of them. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to cover it up and we'll look at it tomorrow. I covered this last night because when you keep it wet, put a little water on it, it didn't crack up. I did this because it's real, put some more water on it. See that? Because it's real thin, let that sit for a while. Because it's real thin, if you don't cover it at night, if the sun gets it too fast, it's going to crack up like mud pies. So that's what you do, is you kind of keep it wet and then it won't crack up. Okay, now we're going to go inside and we're going to get those threads, homemade threads, ready. I kept these wet too for 3 days, and we're going to loosen them up now. 3 days later, let's see. That's it. We get a brick. Go by it. Now, you see this mark back here? That was the top of the last step. And this is the board I used to form it with. So I only need a little small joint here. So I'm going to put the cement in. I don't really have to wet the bottom here. Like this. my board. This is the thickness, you see. I want to be right even with that. And then I want to do this. That's going to make that flat. That's going to tell me where my high and low spots are, you see? Just like that. I don't want any high or low spots. It's pretty good now. Do it again. There. That should be pretty good. Little spot there, a little spot there. Okay, now I'm going to wet the back, and I don't think you can see it. I'm going to wet the back of my thread. That's the part I'm worried about sticking. Then I'm going to put it in. Just like that. Okay. Right where my top was. Let me get my level. Perfect. I want to make sure the water goes off. And I'm going to shake it into place. Right where I want it. Just like that. No big deal. And get our sponge, make sure you wring it out, clean up underneath it. Very simple. See that? Now, we got a couple holes in here. Here's what I'm going to do. Wet it first. Take this. Fill those little holes up. Just like that. See, no big deal. Fill that all in. I want to do this before I get the next stone on, so I won't be falling on it. See that? You fill those holes in. Looks good. Looks good to me. Get your sponge, wipe it up. Okay, now the next one. And the same thing with the second one. Get all your cement in. So I did that, and I lay it down. That was my form, remember? 7.5 inches. So it's all preset. Now I just got to go put my stone on. Okay, I jockey it into place. See where I am here. I know that's good because I measured it. Now I want the front end down so the water goes off it. Sure, this is that same way. 1/4 of a bubble at least. That's that. Now this one we gotta fill the back of the stone. Put that in there. Like that. Cleaning up over here, see, using the sponge, Remember to wring it out, so don't leave a film. Tie it all together. So, okay. All finished up here. All we gotta do now is clean it up. So to finish the video, a couple things. I used a septic tank fiberglass, but it's kind of too thick. So I was pulling parts out of it, and once in a while you can see a little strand sticking out. It's okay for commercial work, but I wouldn't use it again for this. The sand, when I put the sand out of here, South Carolina is all sand. And the old timers would just use bank run. In other words, all the sand that run down a bank, that's what they use with the cement. They'd never go buy sand. They just look around for a place where there's a sand pit. That's where they would get it. Now everything I did here was 2 Mason sands to 1 Portland. That was everything except the caps. I added a little more Portland to it, which I used pre-mix bags. But like I said, I don't trust the pre-mix bags. I like to add a little more Portland to it. And anything above the South Carolina, I'd be a little skeptical of doing that. The reason this is so thin is that you wouldn't be able to see the stonework underneath. If the concrete's too thick, you wouldn't be able to see the stonework. So it's kind of how you want it to look. When you're mixing a thin spot like this, and it's thin, you got to put it in, and you got to keep it damp and wet. It takes a whole day or it's going to crack up like mud pies. So that's another thing. So that's about it. Different way of doing it. Crawled up banks before. I have a couple of videos I never put out where we did it with the modern kind of stone, went up the banks. So that's it. That's how you would crawl up a bank. You see a lot of that in state parks and forests where they crawl up the bank, and that's how you do it. So thanks for watching. I'm Mike Haduck. I'll see you next video.